This is the It Wasn't a Phase podcast. We're going to be talking about Backstreet Girls Gokudols. Something that if you wanted to watch, you could find it on Netflix right now.
Oh, yeah.
I am just trying to make sure everything's running the way that it's supposed to. No, my thing.
So,
Real quick though.
it's an anime, it's a dark comedy,
See
it's
what
on
we get.
Netflix.
I might have done it.
Be careful who you're watching it around if
Oh,
you're trying to watch it with kids.
Yes.
All right, cool, dope. Hell yeah. But yeah, no, it's a super sick anime. Honestly, it is really dark. It's got dark humor. It's a good time. In my opinion, I find it very enjoyable, and it is just it's a wild time to watch.
For sure. It's most definitely. I think it's not for everybody. I haven't. I've seen lots of mixed reviews. I see a lot of people who talk about the depth of the show and whether or not it's a smart or if it's the joke's getting too old or whatever. But I think if you just look at it through the lens that it is, it's a hilarious. It really is.
Yeah.
So okay, what would Justin, go ahead. What's the premise? What would you call the premise of the show?
Honestly, dude, it's just
If you were to give us synopsis.
genuinely what this show is just think of like three tough guy yakuzas who
What's up, Panda?
oh yeah, well who just
So Panda, thanks for checking in.
they straight up just they mess up, right? They do some shit that they're
Oh,
not
no,
supposed to do.
they fuck up.
Like it is not good. It's genuine, just not good. And their boss
Get their
gives
captain,
them
get their captain arrested.
oh yeah, bro, honestly. And then their boss just gives them like a whole like terrible, just two choice kind of thing. And it's like, yo, you can either sell your organs, get your arms and legs cut off, and then we can be square, or get a sex change. Go to Thailand, get a sex change, and become idols.
We're not
Make
talking
me
like
fucking
a half.
money.
We're not talking like a half or nothing. They get full voice sex change, swapped for their parts, everything. They're completely morphed into a different human.
It is a year-long transformation. Like, they go to Thailand, it's for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they go through all kinds of intense training. They have to sing under a waterfall.
And so now the reason that they
They
get
have
these
to kill
sex
a bear.
changes,
Yeah.
did you
They
say-
kill a bear.
They kill a bear.
Did you say
Kill a
the idol
fucking
thing?
bear.
Did you say the idol thing or no? I don't think you
Yeah,
did.
maybe. Yeah, well, I don't, yeah, but
Who knows?
it's all idol training.
So
Basically,
the reason that they're getting this sex change is to go and be a Japanese idol group, and this Yakuza boss is just running it, and
Making money.
Is, he is a manager to some idols.
Yeah. By the way, his
So,
name is Unagane, and bro, he'll tell you he's not a devil, but that man is straight up the devil.
Yeah.
That man's the devil. He is hands down closest thing you can get to a devil.
Yeah,
Easily.
He definitely.
So
Compared to
First
how
nuts.
his old boss
Nuts.
is, he thinks he's real similar, but nah, dude, his old boss was cool. This guy, straight up just Satan.
No, it's funny because when his old boss comes into it, and he
oh,
starts
he's
having
rolling
the
over in
flashbacks
his
over and
fucking
over
grave.
and over.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Okay,
Alright.
are we getting off
First
track?
impression.
Yeah,
First impression of
What
it.
did you think when you first saw it?
Oh, it's wild. Like, so it's three dudes who fuck up. Boss goes, either you become famous fucking pop singers or I kill you.
Yep.
And think about it, as a guy, even as a chick, like, you're kind of stuck in a hot pop idol's body. And they take that as
Go.
extreme as you could possibly take it.
And that's really what I like about it is, as much as it is the same joke done over and over and over again, they explore
do it,
every
and
facet
it's
of
so
that
many,
joke.
yeah, dude, like
that
there's
they
a
could
point
have.
where they even just like, yo, there's a time where I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I kind of get that tingle down there, but I don't know what to do about it, and
Yeah,
I'm just like,
'cause,
what the?
I mean, these you got to think these Yakuzas are like gangsters in their own right. So they're some of the sloppier men, like in some of the
Yep.
some of those finer things in life. And if they're just trapped in this lady's body, can't even and let's not even just
Bro, hold on.
ignore the
Yeah.
fact that the boss doesn't even let them have like pleasure of their own
like he
kind.
straight
you're
puts
like-
so many rules on
Yeah,
their
yeah.
life.
Like you're an
He's
idol.
like, you have to
They-
be in bed by like, what was it, 8 or 9 p.m.
They
You
literally
can't
live in
have
their, like,
boyfriends
changing
or
room.
anything. Yeah, like they live in their tiny ass changing room. All three
It's
of them.
hilarious. So, what
Well,
would
4. Because
what would
another
you,
one does come into play later.
what would probably be some of your like highlight moments of, or at least some of mine? I think. My favorite one is when the American dude comes into it. So here's
George?
another end of it. Yes, the Japanese mob boss, Yakuza boss, has a brother, and there you fucking go, dude. Brother. Yeah,
There it is,
so,
yes.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
brother.
That's Derek right there for sure. So, anywho, that guy, he comes into this as this American mob boss who has a similar situation where he has somebody fucked up and he is looking for a new inventive way of making money and
But the American dude doesn't know what
Bro,
he's
no,
getting
he
sent
doesn't.
to
He has
Japan
no
for.
clue what he's getting
clue.
into.
he has no clue. He just comes in and he thinks he's getting almost a promotion of sorts. He like
Bro, and
Yeah.
then he meets the other 3 Gokudols, not knowing what's
they
gonna
do him
fucking
solid.
happen.
So
Bro,
And they
do
try
him
to do
solid.
him right. They
him
try to do
solid.
him right, which
They
is
do him
fucking
solid.
funny.
They do
But
him
at the same
solid.
time, dude comes into it not even knowing what's going on.
No clue. No clue.
In my opinion, the relationship that these 2 mob bosses have is one of my favorite parts of the show.
Bro,
Every
they
time
do.
that they show back up, it's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah,
Their conversations are just gobbledygook nonsense. It doesn't
With
even
brother
fucking
thrown
make
in every
sense.
other
Hey,
sentence.
Yeah.
Rich men on their level operate on a different level
we don't
than the
even
rest of us.
Yeah,
Okay?
not that we could understand.
No, bro, they're not
what
devils,
Yakuza
alright?
bosses
They're not
are.
devils.
They're not
a
fucking
devil.
Get out of here. You know, he's not a devil.
And the shortcoming of this American dude is that like he gets after being sent to Thailand for this sex change that he finds out about afterwards.
yeah.
He ends up like
Realizing that he felt some used boobs too.
no, not that he felt some
Shit, he did.
no, but
He looks over, he's like, "Oh, this is what just happened,"
Well,
and he's like, "Oh my god!" And, you know that realization
That
where he
just-
knows what
dude.
he did.
Yep.
Yeah,
So he's a fucking hilarious character because it seems like he just he's always like the oblivious character because he's completely oblivious at the beginning, and then he just gets screwed. Like the dude doesn't even take him back to America. He's like, "Oh, I'll just leave. You can just twice. He
Twice.
just gets
Twice.
left in Japan. The second
Bro,
Okay.
yeah, because the second time
time,
the
he
boss is
could've
like,
just-
he could have just shut his mouth. He didn't
could've-
have to say what he was saying. He's
He-
like, "Oh yeah, well, that's
Second
'cause she's
time,
a
he
girl,"
could-
and then he's like,
Whoa.
"You're right, dude. I could just use girls. Get the hell out of my car."
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
even that though. He's out of the car and away from. He could have.
No, you're right.
He could have
Absolutely.
just started from
But-
there. But then again, that's another
So
question.
that's
is
something
like,
I feel
He
like we
totally
might,
went back too.
some little
He
thing
did.
we
Yeah,
did
he
skip is that eventually we brought up the boss's boss, and there's a time where he's getting all sentimental about his boss and the chance that he gave him to become a Yakuza member, and this girl shows up, real girl, not sex changed girl, and wants to be a part of the Gokudols because she is just so
wanting to be an idol.
She's so
She
enthralled
wants
Well,
with
it's
to
not
be
being
just
an
that.
idol.
She also hates her life. She
Yeah,
hates her
yeah.
past.
She's
true.
at a point in her life where she's
Yeah.
like at a make it or break it point. So she goes to get management from the. When she shows up to the idol, she's not even trying to see any of the girls. It's just their manager, and so it turns into this really funny thing that she has no fucking clue, and I don't think it ever finds out.
No.
No,
She does catch
no,
them
they
on
don't
the
blow
roof.
their
No.
No, they get real close to blowing
On
their
the
cover,
roof,
and this
on
is
the
going to
roof
be
is
Ryan's
that-
favorite point.
It's leading to my favorite point.
So she is completely oblivious this entire time, has no clue. Like,
But George-
even has a conversation with George to the extent of like,
Well, because
she shows up and George is oblivious, and they have this conversation where they he's asking about the surgery. she thinks maybe she's talking about tonsil removal, like.
No, it was her appendix.
Oh, it was her appendix. That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
I only know just
And
so
he's
they
talking
just-
about just
They
lopping
just
it.
have this entire complete
they have the same
it's a
conversation, but it's a
miscommunication.
completely different.
But it's a lot like their manager.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Their manager thinks they're just some really broke ghetto girls
Yep.
who finally got a break.
Oh, that's right. Too.
And
The manager.
the whole reason why they
And
do
then
everything.
He even hits Jordan like, damn, I thought Americans didn't have strong family ties.
Yeah, he does.
Yes,
Yeah.
he does. Yes, he does.
Damn. So, moving on to my favorite point. There's two. Sorry, I can't distinguish between the two.
The one. or
So
the two?
no, the two. It's the gifts. So these girls, obviously they're idols, right? So they're getting gifts from all their fans, and it turns into a competition. And you got to remember these are dudes, but at the same time they're competitive. So they're trying to throw away their stuff, and one comes in a nice scarf, and she just pretty much is wearing it, and the guys are like, yo, why the hell are you wearing that scarf? And she's like, well, I was gonna throw it away, but it's Chanel, and it's so expensive, and it's so soft, and it feels great. Then it cuts to the next scene where the next one's wearing a pair of gloves that are literally Versace. She's like, I was gonna throw them away, but they're so expensive,
And it's
and
getting
it's
cold
just
out.
pretty cold out, so they feel so good on my fucking skin. So then leader gets pissed. By the way, doesn't get very many gifts. So she pumps the heater on in a small little thing like this and just waits for everybody to start bitching about the heat. Pops off her top and is wearing this corset with real diamonds and everything else, and is like, yeah, I was just gonna throw it away, but it was so damn expensive. Like, who would just give you this?
Bro, it was so petty.
It's terribly petty
In the
in the
best
best
way.
ways possible. And then there's the roof scene where they're up on the roof drinking like the boys. And one of them's just like, man, I gotta take a piss. And she squats. Second she squats, the leader's like, what the fuck are you doing? We don't squat, stand up. Piss like a man. And they're on top of the roof, standing up. He's like, you push that out. You push it out like you still have a penis. You push it out like you still got it. And the one girl on the team who's actually a girl
Shows up.
shows up.
And then she's just, what's going on?
What's going on, guys?
Like dead faced.
But then it all.
It does. They cover it up.
No, they
Yeah,
cover
They
it.
cover
no,
it
because
up.
they say there's 4 basic needs that
Hey,
humans
it's
have.
the only way to get to know their male audience,
That's
guys.
true.
It's the
Yeah.
only way is
So
to act like
and
their
at the
male
end of
audience.
this, they have this whole fucking like the new girl or the real girl
Both.
ends up talking about how maybe she should get a sex change to turn into a guy
So she
and
would
then
know what it
turn
was
back
like.
so she would know what it was like to be a guy for a little bit. So
Yeah.
they even like being so oblivious. Look, Lauren says I love all the different songs they do. If you
Bro,
read
yes.
the songs
They're
are fucked up.
The
super
songs are
messed up.
so
Yeah.
funny, dude. My favorite one, that actually leads to one of my favorite parts, is whenever fucking Inagane writes that song to be petty up to his wife.
That one.
That
Oh,
gets me so
why are you mad?
Why are you
Why
mad?
are you mad?
Why are you
Bro.
mad? It's so good and just so dirty. I love it. It's top tier. Bro, and then she gets so salty and just
up?
smashes it
Hello.
on the ground.
I don't know. Oh, is that your
I don't
Ryan's
know.
bitch? Yeah, that's your.
But then
Oh.
who's Panda?
I don't know. But I just, for some reason,
You know what? It doesn't matter. We don't need to know who these people are.
You are correct. You are correct.
that's definitely your.
But you got
your other half.
another thing we noticed:
Wife's in the chat. That's cool.
the opening of
Oh, it's
the
Madonna.
show. No, not so much. They changed the voices.
They
So
change it
depending
throughout
on
some of
which
the
episodes you're watching, it could be the dude singing the whole
Oh,
opener.
you're right. You're
It
right.
could be
yeah.
the dudes, and
Yeah.
then they switch to the girls. It could be just the girls, and they switch to the
I
dudes.
wonder if that's just a Netflix thing, or they did that when it aired in Japan.
I could see them like it's the
I'm
transition.
sure it was. I feel like that was a natural thing that they did for the whole show.
Yeah,
For
it's
the whole show.
because
It had
we were
to.
watching it, and I was like, "Wait, it's the guys." I love that they do this, and then we listened to the whole thing, and I was like, "It was only the dudes. They didn't use
Mhm.
any of the female." And
Now,
other episodes,
something
they do different
that's
ones.
also something I have to love Netflix for, as far as how they like if you don't watch it right, you don't watch the the trailer, because I'm not even sure it had a trailer when I went to go look at it. But if you read the little synopsis, it definitely leans you
How you doing?
to the idea of
I don't know what it's
you're not quite sure if it's
So what's up, fellas?
Oh, well, yeah.
if it's like a, what do you call it? If they're getting like you don't know they're getting a full sex change. It just kind of seems like they're cross dressing. Like
Dude,
the
yeah,
way
no, like how
that
it initially
Netflix
like,
lays it out. I
Yeah,
remember
no,
being like-
yeah, you're right.
and just being like, oh, maybe they're just
Well,
doing
that's
like a
because they give
cross-dressing
you the
thing.
male face with all the cross dress.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
when they show you like they're actually
It
like
immediately
attractive.
happened. Like, well, no, when you just, I felt like when it was, is I'm sitting there watching it, and it's when he said, or you can go get a full sex change, and then starts explaining it, and I was like, wait, he said voice?
Yeah.
He said
Full year.
I was like,
Full year.
oh
Bro,
my god.
Full
like plastic
year,
surgery,
plastic
the whole
surgery,
nine.
voice, everything.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Well, okay. So bringing up another one, there's the Goku like doll support group, right? So this support group is all people's lives
What's
who got
up?
wrecked by the Goku dolls.
And not Nil. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Nilvid.
I'm gonna
What's
butcher
up,
names.
Nilvid?
Everybody's names are butchered by
What up,
Braden
team?
from now on.
Oh, what's that now?
Who's this? Like Lorelei.
It's
My
my
favorite when they show the dudes' faces but the girl bodies.
Bro, yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
It's always the inner thoughts. It's always like,
it's
oh
when
my
they're-
god,
it's when
like
they're-
I
okay,
really
so-
fucking did that.
so,
Like, yes, you
I'm
did.
sorry to intersect
You did.
about the Goku dolls. We'll come back to the Goku doll support group because you
You're
both
good.
kind of talked
Mhm.
about one of your favorite parts. Okay, my favorite part, I think, in the entire show is one of the. We'll figure this. Wait. All right. Anywho, so what were we talking about? Anyway, who's this? Long story short, as far as the he has this thought about this guy. So he comes onto that the food show,
Oh yeah.
the cooking show.
He comes on the cooking show,
Right.
and the actor's like, "Hey, I'm a fan of your guys'
Oh,
3 a.m.
right, starts
show."
talking to her about
and they're like, "Okay, cool." And they were just talking about how they're pretty much in love with this Japanese Chuck Norris. Okay, that's what I'm gonna call him.
Right.
I'm gonna call him Japanese Chuck
Right.
Norris. And so they go out and they go to dinner with this dude, and they end up like doing a review in a show. And he gets in the car with I think her name's Ari. It's either
Yes.
Ari or Chica. No, it's Ari.
no, because he's a Chica fan.
Yeah, he's a Chica fan.
Chica fan.
So
but
he
that-
gets in the car with Ari, and Ari's the one who has like this huge man crush. Like
who has
they
the
even
utmost
say
respect
like
for this
he's
guy.
like, no, this is the manliest man. Like even dudes fall for him. So
Right.
they're in a car. It's raining, and Ari's sitting there thinking like, oh crap, Japanese Chuck Norris is trying to make a move on me.
Mhm.
And
He's
dude
just
sits
ready to
there
pull
and
his
is
shirt down
like,
and everything.
so I gotta
he-
ask you a question. And she's
So
like,
right-
I'll do anything.
Right before he has this serious, it's one of those moments where it cuts away to the guys, and he has this serious moment where he's like, should I let him take me? Like, it would be an honor to let him. What's
but
it
also
say?
go on.
Oh,
Smash or pass, Kyle Weezer.
Carl Weezer. Let's take a pause on Goku dolls and answer that question.
That's a good question.
What do you think?
Carl Weezer?
I'm gonna be dead serious pass because I don't think you could breathe long
No, bro,
enough
you
for,
kidding me? If any,
for 5 minutes.
Sheen.
Yeah, you need
That
Sheen
kid-
who's got all that
That
energy.
kid's got all that energy.
Sheen's got the energy to keep going, dude.
Sheen's
All
a
right.
fucking
Anywho,
psychopath.
that's to answer.
Damn.
You think Carl Weezer is packing a fucking hog?
Homie is
All
passing
right.
the okay.
All right.
Those back shots would go crazy. Carl is dummy thick.
Who is
Oh my
this?
God, get
Who's
outta
a
here.
who's a cultist?
I mean,
a culty
Jesus.
TX.
I mean, in a sense, like, we have a cult we're starting.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
But
if
you
you
know.
guys want to hear, we'll have a whole podcast about, or a stream about whatever we're calling this thing. We'll have it about the cult that we're starting here soon. The
Oh, yeah.
lore for the cult.
That'd
Let's
be a
talk
good
about
time.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. We have to make it up first.
Okay, I can do that. I can come up with
The
some
lore for the cult.
The
Okay,
lore for the
but
cult.
we're getting off topic. So,
Goku dolls. Back to it.
back to Goku dolls.
Anywho. Continue.
So the support group,
Yeah, go ahead. With
that
the support.
one, So the failed Goku doll,
Uh-huh.
that
The
one was good.
Who, he said did not turn out pretty enough. He was like, "Oh yeah, your debt's forgiven. Get out."
The photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The photographer
your debt
gets
is
a little,
forgiven. I'm sorry, I don't need you. Have a good life. No, the photographer
Who gets a little handsy.
a couple times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
You
gets
like feeling tits so much.
gets
Feel
fake
on
tits,
yourself.
dude.
Yeah.
And then he said
flown to
something-
Brazil.
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. So, long story short, there's all these people who end up having like run-ins with the Goku dolls, and either having the same fucked up half process done to them, or even worse, like the last dude who ends up being a part of it gets like tits on his arms and shit. So,
Dude,
Oh,
yeah.
they crank it up. dude.
He
They crank it
the
up.
boss gets kind of, and he writes all their songs.
and
So
then
if you hear
he
the
writes
songs,
them
that's
himself.
the plot. Maestro. Sorry,
Maestro.
Sensei Maestro.
Call him Maestro.
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 Yeah, we don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all right.
No, I understand.
We get it, no.
Whoever is what the fucking.
Wonder if
I
the
wonder if-
corner will ever figure out they were guys.
No, I don't think he's gonna find
They're
out.
good. I mean,
I'm dead serious. I think everybody probably keeps it under. I don't even think the girl ever finds
only
out.
the Yakuza team figures it out, and
Now,
they
there is
know they're
one
not
person
allowed
that
to
does
touch
find
them.
out, technically, and that's the doctor
Yeah, titties
that
on arms.
works
No,
on
seriously.
what was her name? It was Mari, right? The
Oh
blonde.
no!
Because
Yeah.
of the hemorrhoids, the anal fissure,
Oh.
like the
Bro, that
it was
whole
like
scene the
3
doctor
little
does.
things, yeah.
Well, hey,
And then she's like,
They
you
are
know,
women
this is
in
a
body and
women's-
soul.
Yeah, then she's like, you know, this is a women's hospital. Well, I like to think that I'm a woman in body and soul now.
he plays it off
Okay.
well. He plays it off, and yes, titties on arms.
Yeah,
like,
so,
like
okay,
full blown.
think of-
Like
If
titties-
you've
titties
seen
on
Little
arms.
Nicky,
yeah,
my
on
best-
the head. That's a good one.
yes, that's the best comparison to put it to. He
Or
just-
Rick and Morty. Or Rick and Morty. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
he
like, that's
he's
a good
got
way to put it,
straight
too.
up titties on arms. He just
Mhm.
because he fucks up, and so they send him over there. Game over.
Dude, fucking Inagawa's wife.
Oh yeah,
That- like they're perfect for each
bro,
other.
she becomes like
Oh,
their main
oh.
antagonist.
Dude,
Yeah.
she does.
She
They-
ends up leading the
Yeah,
support
dude,
group.
she takes over the support group and is like, I got the money,
Well,
I
and
got
then
the shit, we can
when
do
they
back
figure
this
it
up.
out, like, oh my, when they capture his wife, that scene, another good
Bruh.
scene. That
He just
scene,
starts smacking
it's my
everybody
fault
with an empty
too.
barrel, and then at the end he's like, it is my fault, cracks
Well, it's
himself.
even funnier because she thinks he's cheating the whole time.
Yeah.
Whole time,
The whole
private
time,
investigator,
he's-
everything.
Until she finds out when they're yelling at her, like, you think you can mess with the Inagane family? And she's like, what?
What did you just say to me?
Yeah.
Oh man, so good. All right, so now, would you watch more?
Yes. Depends on how they would go with it, though. I don't know how much more I would watch. I think if they kind of gave them more of a life outside of just being idols, because it seems like they played the whole creepy fans thing out.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would have to be more of real life scenarios.
No, okay, so correct. If it wasn't, I would watch more if it didn't follow them as idols anymore, and for some reason it followed them just as girls in real life
So-
having to deal with now.
So season 2, right? Here's my season 2.
Okay.
You're old. You're not popular anymore. I've made my money off of you. Get the fuck out. Your debt's paid. I'm making some new idols. And it follows those 3 after they're released.
Okay, cool. So I
but
don't
the
want to
3
see.
new ones.
Oh, I don't even want to see the 3. I don't even care about the 3 new idols. I think that's already been written. You know what I mean?
In a sense.
Like that's what I'm trying to avoid is watching the show again, like that
Okay.
with new stuff.
Okay.
Like if it's just repackaged 3 new girls that he did the same thing to, like it's gonna be like all
And
right.
plus, I think it gets a big following from
But-
like a lot of different like pride communities and stuff like
Oh, well,
that.
yeah,
because
because
like if they
they
went
do
into
have a
some
lot
sensitive
of-
material, like real life material like that, it would probably get a good uprising and following too. And they
Yeah.
could stay with the dark comedy. They really could.
Yeah, and if they took it like I'm talking that they're you said older, maybe 35, they're in their 40s,
like okay,
and they're like now having to just be ladies living in Japan,
yes,
and they're
from
old.
Yakuza to housewife, like
And then that's where it transitions into Way of the House Husband.
Damn. No,
that's
he's a
another-
badass. He's a
we're
badass.
gonna talk about that
That'll
one
be
too.
an episode, but
We're
he's a
gonna talk about
badass.
that
Yeah,
one too.
I like that one. A
So
lot.
that's another thing to know about this is that it is a, what would you call, short form anime? Is that what they deem it? Where
Yeah,
because
because
each
it's not-
full episode that you would find, say on Netflix or whatever, is broken up into smaller episodes, which are certain chunks long. What do we got here?
What if they start having issues with being men? I don't think they would.
That could be interesting if. That's another way that they could take it, where they send them back into the Yakuza.
Nah, because it would turn them into straight feminists.
You're right. They'd be like defending. But you know what? I'd
I
watch
could see them
that.
honeypotting.
It
and
would be
shit.
interesting.
No, I'd watch that.
I'm telling you,
If-
they'd probably
if they
like
flip
Oh,
honeypot.
they'd get all sorts of tail, yeah.
If they flipped it around and
They
they,
could.
like
They could.
they turned them back into men and then had them.
Oh, but they were used to getting the fucking
That's what I'm
attention
saying.
and everything as an idol.
And then they get
That's-
depressed and miss being idols.
I'd agree. I'd rather see them handle their lives as girls after being idols.
See, okay,
that's what I think
that's,
so, too,
that's
because
my first train of thought. Otherwise, okay, let me just preface by saying this. I do not think I'd watch more, like at all. Where it's
No?
at, I think the 10 episodes did a good job, and that's.
You know what though? I will say it's got pretty good rewatch value. I'd watch it
It
again.
does.
I know
Yeah,
it's funny
we
as
watch
fuck.
it again.
Honestly,
again,
watching
it's
it
got
again,
its-
you see
So
more, like, more
this is
comedy out of
definitely
it.
something
do.
that I could see, like you going and fucking getting, twisted up with the boys, or
First watch
know,
has a lot of
just-
wow factor.
or
Mhm.
if it's somebody
Second watch is
who
funny as shit.
you're looking to maybe get into anime and they have a darker humor.
Ooh, yeah, that's true too.
It's a quick 10 episodes that you can be like, here, dude, you want to see
and
something
it's
fucking
comedy.
crazy?
It's really comedy. So there's not a lot. There's no fighting. There is a little bit of like whatever, but it's a dark
But
comedy.
it's here
You know
and
what
there.
you're getting into.
It's here and there.
Yeah, no, but I would watch more of it if it was like a after, like
Yeah.
they get some real world kind of experience
Okay.
outside of being idols, because
All
it's an interesting concept. It really is. You take 3 thug gangsters and turn them into hot idols, like, and then make them famous, and then you could add it. Now your fame is gone. Boss is done with you, and you can tell when boss is done with you. He just kicks you to the curb, and you're not part of the family no more.
Mm-hmm.
So then what's their motivation for even wanting to live? But like that's my thing. If it was me, I'm sorry, boss. You might as well take me out. Like,
Well,
take
hold
me
on.
out
There
now.
was going to be someone who was like
Nah,
that,
wait,
and then they
check
talked
me
him out
out
of it.
here.
Because remember,
Check
it
me
was the
out
one
here.
who was who the boss said was too
You're
ugly.
telling me right now that if you got turned into a girl and you got kicked out of the Yakuza, you'd end your life?
I think that's a
Well,
really.
because you got to think about it. Those 3, all they knew was like shitty
that's-
life and
I
everything.
moved to America.
Oh, true.
Boom, then your life is perfect.
In a sense, you could do whatever the fuck
Then
you
you're
wanted.
good.
If you moved to America, yeah,
Then
you
you're
could do
good.
whatever the fuck you wanted. You could do shit at that point. You might as well be a porn star.
Correct.
Like, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the lateral
And
move.
you could be like the Japanese idol turned porn star, make a shit ton of money, and you'd never have to worry about. You know what?
There you go.
All right, fair. What are they dealing? 2 years?
No, that's fucking.
I'm happy where I'm at. Don't get me wrong.
I'm telling
but,
you right
like,
now, that's George's arc.
okay,
That's
all right.
George's
George
arc.
gets his own arc. He turns his fucking
Yeah,
one-time
so when
love
we're
into
bringing-
a lesbian. That'd be
when we're
awesome.
when we're bringing it all back, who, America equal do anything.
Okay,
you
like
want.
if
yeah,
they
exactly.
finally
exactly.
accept that they're women
OnlyFans
now
idol.
and live their
Yeah.
life that way, that would be interesting.
See,
yeah, I can see it happening. I'm
I'd
down.
like to see both. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm kind of on this season 2.
Okay, so
So
season 2.
if it followed
writers,
the girls,
if you ever hear this shit, season 2, we've got a shit ton of ideas for you.
So yeah, if it followed the girls from Japan, the Yakuza,
the Yakuza.
acclimating to life in Japan and just getting back to being normal
Well, and
people.
then we're going
then
on
you
a world
follow
tour.
George.
Or a world tour.
No, for what?
I don't know. I think
Because
if they try to
take
keep
all
their
4
own
of
shit
them and
going.
send them to America and have George show them around, where they could all actually have a good time.
Maybe. So it would have to start with them being depressed about it, and then they find out about George's life later on.
Okay, so
They find out about George's
POV,
fame.
you're watching them lean in, laugh out loud. What up, guys? Innocence.
Yeah.
like
All right,
that.
dude. Sorry, we all have bad eyes. Well, I'm
true.
90. Let me put my spectacles back
Use your
on.
spectacles.
All right, so real quick though, hold on. What was your what would you guys say was your overall impression of it?
It's funny as hell. I think
It's super
So
funny.
as a show, if you watch it for what it is and don't try and look too deep or look for too much into it, you're gonna like it. It's funny. It's got crude humor. Now, there are So George's desensitization
Bro.
scene. There are a couple of scenes that might go a little far for you.
Like, yeah,
that one. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not
yeah,
explaining
that
it.
scene.
That's for
George's
you.
like
Poor George.
cleansing.
George's cleansing.
George's cleansing.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Purification.
If you-
George has been purified. I think that's the word they use.
Yep.
Purification.
It's if you exactly. Yeah.
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 The dark humor
Yeah,
is
if
for
you're
sure.
if you're a dark humor fan, it's definitely a must.
Absolutely.
It definitely lands. It definitely lands. I mean, I've heard it. Like I said at the beginning, I've heard a lot of people who will use the idea that they just keep beating the joke and it's the same joke, but I think that's the point.
Well, I mean, there's a lot
they
to
do
do.
pretty good,
Like
though.
you can run with it.
I
in
mean,
my
that's- I mean,
opinion. Like,
also,
there's a
I
lot
mean-
with that. Yeah.
Just saying that they're beating the joke. Like if the joke is the premise.
Think of it as a
Then that's
real
the
life
premise.
isekai.
Right?
Like in a sense, he just was like, no, you don't get your body, you don't get anything anymore. You just get your brain thrown in this thing.
That's true.
By the
And
way,
he
just
gave
saying-
them a real. And you're
Real
a
fast.
idol.
Brain
I'm gonna have to
isekai.
plug this real quick.
What
Just so
got?
you guys know, Solo Leveling is going to be getting its own anime here soon, and it's going to be sick as
Oh,
fuck.
dude.
Watch that shit,
Solo
read it,
Leveling.
it is
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
dope as
If
hell.
you have-
Just saying, sorry, it's
I
not
mean,
technically,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not really technically an isekai, but like,
Nah,
it's
it
seems like an
it
isekai.
falls. No, I don't even know. Okay, let me just we are definitely gonna probably have a whole episode dedicated to solo leveling. It's fantastic if you can pick it up and read
It's
it.
gonna be lit. You're right.
Yeah,
Oh
it's-
yeah.
oh
You're
yeah, we are
right.
going, like, all
So
three of us are going
gung-ho.
through it right now. It is so good.
So good.
I picked it up at Barnes and Noble. I
There's
got
also
these
a
guys on
level
it, and that shit is just fire.
Absurdism that makes it funny on top of brutal.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, about
yeah.
Gokudols.
back to
Yeah,
that,
well, and that's the thing. I think if you don't take it to that level for this show, like it kind of doesn't give it its edge that it needs.
no, the show
like-
wouldn't be there without crossing the lines.
Like
Oh, no.
it has to cross all the lines.
So
to be
it's
able to make
definitely
it go,
that's one
"What
of
the
those.
fuck?"
You could go as far to be like maybe not a politically correct show if you're really worried about that or whatever. Like if
Oh no,
somebody is
cancel culture
worried-
would hate the show, but that's why it's anime and they can suck it. Like,
and I like it. It's
Mhm.
funny. It really gives like a good laugh, and then it's just some I don't even know, dude. It's just the way that they frame everything in that.
so
Yeah,
overall
isn't it-
feeling.
Yeah,
It's dark.
bomb.
Dark,
It's funny.
funny.
It's a watch I recommend to most people.
Oh yeah,
It's fast watch.
It's a
so
super
if you're
quick one.
looking
You can
for
kill it in a
something
day
like
if you really
you can
want to
kill
put in
it,
the
yeah.
time.
You kill like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So,
if you
really
wanna put
long
in the time,
movie.
you can do it in a day.
Really
You can
long
mash through
movie.
it pretty good.
At the same
Yeah.
time, like it's watchable and it flows really well.
It does.
And really pay attention to that opening scene because